How does folk etymology affect loanwords? Imagine hearing a word from another language that sounds strange or unfamiliar. Your mind might try to make sense of it by linking it to words you already know. That's folk etymology at work. When people encounter a loanword, words borrowed from another language, they often change it to fit their own language's patterns. This can happen in pronunciation, spelling, or even meaning. For example, the word squirrel in English was once borrowed from a Latin word that sounded quite different. Over time, English speakers started to reshape it to sound more familiar. Folk etymology can lead to the word being altered to resemble common words, making it easier to say or understand. This process often results in a version of the word that looks or sounds quite different from the original. Loanwords are especially vulnerable to folk etymology because they come from languages with different sounds and structures. When speakers find the foreign word hard to pronounce or remember, they tend to reshape it. This reshaping can involve changing spelling or pronunciation to match familiar words or morphemes. For example, the word asparagus was once unfamiliar to English speakers. They turned it into sparrowgrass because it sounded more natural and familiar. Sometimes folk etymology changes the meaning of a loanword as well. If the new form seems to connect to a different idea, people might start to think of it differently. For instance, the original meaning might get lost or shifted because of the new, familiar form. This is why some loanwords look quite different from their source language today. Folk etymology also influences how words are spelled and pronounced. It makes foreign words fit into the phonetic and grammatical rules of the new language. This adaptation helps speakers use the words more easily but can obscure their true origins. For language learners or history buffs, recognizing folk etymology helps explain why some words seem so different from their roots. In everyday speech, you might say sparrowgrass instead of asparagus because it sounds more natural. That's folk etymology shaping the word to match what feels familiar. It's a natural part of how languages evolve, especially when borrowing words from other cultures. Over time, these changes can become standard, making the original from less recognizable. So, folk etymology affects loanwords by changing their form to match familiar sounds and meanings. It often results in words looking or sounding quite different from their original versions. This process helps make foreign words easier to use but can also hide their true history. It's a fascinating way language adapts and grows, blending new influences into familiar patterns.